Well, hi everyone, and I wanted to take a few minutes to go over some course policies and procedures now. This is a pretty generic recording, and it covers both my on-campus and online classes because the policies are pretty much the same for both. So let's go ahead and go over some of these things so you've got a good idea of where we're going. So talking about the syllabus. Really, the syllabus is the policy for the class. Now, that is where you should go if you have any questions. I am just kind of going over some things with you here that you'll need to know about, giving you a little bit of a head start on the syllabus. But do remember that the syllabus is your guideline for what's going on in terms of policies and procedures in the class. As a matter of fact, there is a syllabus quiz that needs to be completed no later than the last day of the first week of class. Failure to complete the syllabus quiz means that you may be dropped from the class. Okay, so you definitely want to get that done. So here are just a few of the things that are covered by the syllabus. Communication. I will post announcements in the class, and I'll post announcements frequently. Please be sure that you are in Canvas and that you are reading the announcements on a regular basis, because the announcements may be changes to the schedule, they may be changes to an assignment, they may be things that are fixes, maybe something got fixed that was broken. So definitely make sure that on a regular basis you're reading the announcements. You also want to be sure that your Canvas email preferences are configured. So I prefer to send emails to the entire class if I do that. My preferred method of communicating is through announcements. However, occasionally something will be really important and I'll need to send it out to you, and I may post it as an announcement. I may send an email to the entire class. I may just try to get it out there as best as I possibly can. So what I want you to do then is be sure that your Canvas email preferences are configured. Have your Canvas email forwarded to whatever personal account that you would prefer. That way you don't miss any messages. Please definitely be professional in your communications. Be thorough, complete. Write emails to me as if you were writing to your manager at work. Be sure to be professional. Be ready to use Blackboard Collaborate if needed. Blackboard Collaborate is a platform that is built into Canvas that allows us to meet in a live manner. So for my on-campus classes, just in case something happens and I am absolutely unable to be on campus, and it happens every once in a while, I might be attending a conference someplace away, and but I can still make the class time. I can still meet with you live, and Blackboard Collaborate lets us do that. So you want to make sure that you're ready to use Blackboard Collaborate if necessary. My online classes, I often will hold drop-in office hours live in Blackboard Collaborate, or I may be hosting a live session where you can come in and I will demonstrate something. So Blackboard Collaborate is a tool that I really like to use, and I really want to make sure you know how to use it. In class, information will be presented. There's probably going to be an announcement out there that'll give you information on how to use Blackboard Collaborate. Make sure that you are up to speed and ready should we need to do that. Email and FERPA, make sure that if you email me, you do use your CWU email account, or that you do so through Canvas, because I am unable to respond due to FERPA reasons to email that comes from anything other than CWU or Canvas. And then again, for those people who want to immediate answers to questions, email is great, but we have that lag, right? You're going to email me and I'm going to try everything I can do to get back to you as quickly as possible, but I may not get back to you in the time frame that you need me. So Skype is a great way to, if I'm sitting out in Skype, you can just, ping me and ask your question, probably get an answer right away. So my handle in Skype is Dr. Jackie Krause. So that's another alternative for you to consider. All of your work, all of your written work should be in APA formats in terms of citations and references. Now, I know you all know APA. I know you learned APA in previous classes, so no excuse for not doing APA correctly. APA formatting for citations, in text citations, and for references. All right, on to attendance. I do have attendance policies for both on-campus and online classes. So let me go over each of these individually. The on-campus, I do take attendance. If you miss 5 classes, you may be dropped from the class with or without warning. I may reach out to you. I may not reach out to you. Especially if it's 5 classes in a row. If you don't show up for 5 classes in a row, I'm going to assume you're not attending anymore, and I'm going to go ahead and submit a drop for you. Again, on campus, you need to be on time to be given credit for attendance. Late attendance, anything more than 10 minutes or leaving early, and no attendance will be recorded. My attendance sheet is what counts. Please don't come back to me 2 weeks later and say, oh, I was here when my attendance sheet shows that you were not. And then, of course, if in doubt, if there's any doubt at all, if you did not hear your name called, definitely stop up at the podium and ask me to double check to make sure. Sometimes I just know who you are and I mark you here without necessarily calling your name. So by all means, definitely check in, because I don't want any problems with marking you absent when you were actually here. Okay, so that's really kind of important. For online, if you miss a total of 5 assignments of any type, you may be dropped from the class with or without warning. Same kind of policy. Now, when I'm talking about assignments, I'm talking about either individual assignments, a discussion, if you miss the entire discussion, if you fail to complete a quiz. I add up all of these things together, and 5 or more, and you may be dropped from the class. So definitely check the grade book, check it often, make sure that you are in compliance, make sure that you haven't missed too many things. Definitely stay in touch to avoid the appearance that you're no longer participating in class. That's very important. Same thing is true with the on-campus. If you don't show up 5 classes in a row and I don't hear from you, there is an appearance that you're gone. You've stopped participating. Same thing in online. If you are not submitting assignments, and you fail to submit 5 in a row, I'm kind of going to think you're probably not around anymore. So definitely stay in touch. I think that's really, really important. And then again, of course, if in doubt, check in. It's so important. I don't want to drop anybody by mistake, but by the same token, you need to stay in touch. All right, so late work and regrading. I do accept late work, and I do understand that a lot of ITAM professors do not accept late work. But let me tell you what my late work policy is. My late work policy is I accept late work under the following criteria. Late assignments may be submitted up to 3 days late, 10% penalty deducted per day late. No assignments are accepted more than 3 days late. Quizzes, exams, in-class assignments, things like discussions, all must be completed during the week that they are assigned. They cannot be made up. So the only thing that I accept late is things like individual assignments or possibly team type projects might be accepted late. So and you definitely want to look at the assignment itself to see if something is not accepted late. Okay, so you definitely want to look at that. Regrading. I will regrade any assignment. I make mistakes when grading. I don't want to make mistakes, but every once in a while I will do that. So sometimes I will miss something when I'm reviewing your work. So what I will do is I will gladly regrade if you ask me to do so. But there is a right way and a wrong way to ask about regrading an assignment. So the right way is to say, hey, Dr. Krause, I was looking at my assignment and you said you have, after I read your feedback, you said that I didn't answer this particular question, but I believe that I did so on page 2, paragraph 3, when I stated blah, 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 blah. Okay. So would you please go back and take another look? Of course I will go back and take another look. Okay. Absolutely. The wrong way to ask me is, Dr. Krause, I worked so hard on this assignment. I don't know why I got such a bad grade. Well, that tells me a lot of things. Number one, that tells me you didn't read my feedback, so you don't know what you were missing, or you don't know what I think you were missing, or what I believe were the weaknesses in what you submitted. So if you ask me to regrade something, again, provide evidence to support your position, and absolutely, I'm all over that for you. I make mistakes, and I want to make sure to correct them. I want to take a quick jump back here as far as the late work policy, and then I'm going to jump back to attendance as well. So in terms of late work, I'm going to qualify what I say, so please listen fully before you make any judgments here. I really don't care the reason why the work was late. If the work is not turned in on time, it is late, which is why I give you an extra 3 days and I deduct points. Okay, so it really doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter if you were sick, or if a friend was sick, or if something terrible happened. I appreciate that. The policy is so that when life gets in the way, you have a way of getting things done. So the other thing that I want to do is I want to come back to attendance as well. So sometimes in my on-campus classes, students will come up to me and say, I was unable to attend because I was in the hospital, or I was unable to attend because this horrible thing happened. And I just want to really clarify, there really are no excused absences. You get 5 absences, okay? You can use them any way you choose to use them. Meaning that if you're really sick or in the hospital, great. Now you've got 5 absences that you can use to that effect. But really what you're saying to me when you come up and say, but I was in the hospital, or I had a horrible accident, what you're really saying is, I don't want just 5, I want 6 or 7 or 8, and I don't want those 5. I don't want to lose those 5. So really, you've got 5 absences. How you use them is up to you. So please, please, please keep that in mind when you come to me and you say, so I don't need to know why you were absent. Of course, I'll be terribly sad to hear that you were involved in an accident or something, but I don't need to know why you were out. It's okay. It is what it is. And luckily, I've got 5 opportunities for you to be absent and move forward. All right, so on to cheating and plagiarism. Cheating, just don't. Plagiarizing, don't. Bottom line, okay? You may fail the class, and an academic violation will be filed if you're caught cheating or plagiarizing. There are wide and varied discussions on cheating, what constitutes cheating, what constitutes plagiarism. Some examples that I have actually encountered in my classes: students share papers and then change 1 or 2 words and submit them as if they were their own by just changing a couple of words. It's collusion. Collusion is cheating. Collusion is also plagiarism. So it is an academic violation. So those are just a couple of guidelines. But anyway, please, please, please be sure that you've read the syllabus. Be sure that you've gone out to the students' information that's at Central Washington University. And please understand that these are only guidelines, and there are a ton of different ways students can cheat. Just because it wasn't written down in some way doesn't mean that it isn't cheating and that you won't be possibly. So bottom line, cheating and plagiarizing, don't do it. You will fail the class, and an academic violation will be filed on your behalf. Original work, changes, and in-class assignments. So original work means that you need to do original work for this class, okay? Which basically says I do not accept recycled papers from other classes, all right? I will know whether you've recycled something because it'll show up in Turnitin. When I go to submit when your work gets submitted in Turnitin, it'll show up and I will see that it is a passage from something that you turned in to another class. So all of the work that is in this class needs to be original work. Actually, recycling work from other papers is self-plagiarism. You may not have known that, but you can actually self-plagiarize. Unless, of course, you put an in-text citation and a reference, but really you shouldn't be citing yourself, bottom line. Okay, so do not recycle. All of the work from this class needs to be original. Changes to the schedule or other important information. I prefer to post announcements, as I mentioned. I might send an email if it's incredibly important. I may do both. I may send up smoke signals. I don't know, but bottom line, if there's any changes to anything, whether it be the schedule or an assignment, please, please, please be sure that you're up on the communication and that you go out and say, and that you go out and look. And again, saying I don't know really isn't going to work, because I'm going to give you every opportunity to get that information out to you. Now, on my on-campus classes, you will be doing in-class assignments where you're going to come into class and you're going to work in class and you're going to submit things usually as a team. In order to receive credit for the in-class assignments, you need to be in class. Okay, so you can if you miss one day, you can receive partial credit, but if you miss if you're there for the 3 days, great. If you miss one day, you'll get partial credit. If you miss 2 days, you'll get partial credit. But the bottom line is, to get full credit for the in-class assignments, you have to be in class. I hope that makes good sense. Additional policies of interest. For my on-campus classes, I do not allow any video or audio recording in the class, period. So don't do it. Don't try to do it. Don't sneak it. Please just don't. Okay. No assignments are accepted via email. Please do not ask. No assignments are accepted via zip or compressed format. If there are multiple files to be submitted, be sure to attach all files. You will be asked to resubmit the assignment, and if it's late, points will be deducted. Now, the reason that we do not accept anything via email and we do not accept anything via zipped or compressed format, email and zipped formats do not run through Turnitin. Turnitin is a plagiarism checker. All assignments are run through the plagiarism checker. So everything that comes in needs to come in through Canvas and needs to be submitted appropriately. Okay, so you've been told, you've been warned about that one. Professionalism. Both online and on campus, really, professionalism. You should be using these classes as an opportunity to practice professional skills in terms of communicating, in terms of material writing, and material that you put together. It's an awesome opportunity for you to let your workplace skills shine. So for on campus, I expect students to come to class prepared, and prepared in the same way that you would be prepared in the workplace. So you want to be on time. You want to communicate both in writing and verbally in a professional manner with proper language skills. You want to engage and participate in class discussions. If you're off doing your own thing, that really is not a professional appearance. Online, you're going to show the same professionalism that you would be showing to any of your virtual work colleagues in terms of communicating professionalism and commitment to the work. And I'll say commitment to the work also for my on-campus too, because my on-campus classes have team assignments. You need to commit to your team, whether you're on campus or online. You need to commit to your team and you need to be available for your team. So that's part of professionalism. Disrupting class, and this is on campus or online as well. Inappropriate language, visiting inappropriate websites, any kind of behavior that distracts from the class or the activities, posting anything in Canvas that would be considered inappropriate. Please don't do that. On campus, be sure to arrive on time. Arriving late is disruptive. Inappropriate use of the lab computers can be distracting to the other students. People who are sitting behind you cannot help but see what you're doing, and cannot help but be distracted. Doing your own thing rather than participating is also very distracting. Okay, so all of your instructors have pet peeves. Here are a few of mine. I want to share those with you up front so that you can be aware and warned, and that we can kind of work together to work through some of these things. So first pet peeve that I have is asking questions that have been provided in the material. All right, and here's why. As a manager in the workplace, your manager is going to give you a whole bunch of material that they're going to want you to read, review, to learn, to become familiar with, to absorb, to understand, and to apply as part of your job. And they're going to expect that you have mastered this material first before you start asking questions. If you don't do that, it may make you look lazy. Now, please, I am not saying that you are lazy. Please, please, please don't get angry with me. I am not saying that you're lazy, but what I'm saying is that a failure on your part to go through the material before you just start asking your boss questions will give you the appearance that you haven't done the work that you've been asked to do. Appearances can be everything. You want to make a good one, okay? And so there's also a right and a wrong way to ask. There's also a right and a wrong way to ask if you haven't been able to find something. So of course, if you're unable to find something, or you've looked, maybe you missed it. You definitely ask. Please, please, please do not hesitate to ask. Now, understand that I may not simply just answer the question, but I might point you in the right direction so that you know where the material or the question could be answered on your own next time. Okay? So don't be angry if my answer is, please check paragraph 2 of the assignment and then let me know if you still have questions regarding what it means. Okay? So again, this is a workplace skill. This isn't just and I've been a boss before, and I know how challenging it can be when you give employees a bunch of information and they don't review that information and just start asking questions. Okay, so please, please, please be the good employee and try on your own first, but then email me and say, hey, look, I looked here, I didn't see it. What am I missing? Where can I find this? And or ask me your question. Don't hesitate to ask, but just do your due diligence first. Okay, number 1. So number 2, my second pet peeve is if you email me and you email me with very incomplete information. I'm having trouble with the assignment. Can you give me some help? Sure. What class are you in? What assignment specifically are you talking about? And what specific question do you have about the assignment? Where are you tripping, stumbling, and falling? So when you email to ask a question, please be sure to identify yourself, identify the class, identify the assignment, give me a thorough description of the questions in enough detail so that I can actually give you an answer the first time, because I want to answer your questions. I want to help you. But I can't help you if I get a very incomplete question asked. Okay, so if I get an incomplete question, the answer is going to be, what assignment? What is your question? And that's not what you want, and that's just going to frustrate you. And then as part of that overall thing, please don't wait until 6 o'clock on Sunday night to answer questions about assignments that are due Sunday night, because I can guarantee you I'm not going to get that answer back to you in enough time for you to incorporate it into your work. If I get an answer back to you at all on Sunday night, Okay, so please, please, please take that into consideration. A little bit of planning on your part. Make sure that you have at least reviewed the information. And if anything looks a little hinky to you, that you get in touch with me right away so that I can answer. All right, ways to contact me. So on campus, I hold regular office hours every term in Schassmeister room 223. Schassmeister 223. If you, second floor of Schassmeister is where the ITAM office is located. And I am actually in room 230 of the ITAM office. Okay, so you can check the syllabus for my office hours, or you can always send me an email and we can try to arrange office hours by appointment as needed. Again, Skype, I encourage you to Skype. I'm sitting in Skype most days, and it's a great way to reach out to me quickly. My phone number that you can reach me at, which is my home office phone number, which is most often the easiest one to reach me, is 509-293-9480. And you can email me through the CWU. You can do that through Canvas, or you can do that through the regular email. I request the right to respond to your emails within 24 hours. I typically try very hard to respond faster. However, 24 hours is pretty much a good guideline. Also, time on the weekends. I expect a little bit longer turnaround on the weekends. So again, don't wait until the last minute to get in touch with me. So that's all I've got for you for policies. I hope this has been helpful. Again, go review the syllabus, take the syllabus quiz. This is not intended to replace the syllabus, but intended to kind of go over some of those things that will help us get off on the right foot and off to a good start. I look forward to working with you this term.